Society hates weak men. Society punishes weak men. In this video, I'm going to show you multiple ways, maybe 5 ways in which society hates weak men and punishes weak men. Look, it's no secret, right? Men are valued based on their ability to produce. Let's be for real. Let's cut off the BS. Let's cut off the, no, it's not true. I like a man for being himself. Bullshit. Bullshit. Men are judged on their ability since time immemorial, on their ability to create, on their ability to produce. Men are judged based on our status, on our value. But for this video, I'm going to break down 5 ways in which society emphasizes strength in men and punishes lack of strength, weakness in men, right? So the first point I'm going to look at is psychology, right? And survival instinct. I'm going to write this here. Number 1, psychology plus survival instincts. Put this here. Right. Guys, did you know that in evolution, not every man got the opportunity to procreate? Not every man had the chance to pass on his genes to the next generation. Did you know that? Oh, yes. And the male species that was able to pass on their genes to the next generation were strong men. Strong men or strong male species. You understand? So, for example, if you look at men in general, not the modern man, but if you look at men back in the caveman days and in the medieval eras, sometimes you have to fight other men to win over a woman. If you look at the male species in lions, in gorillas, in bears, in antelopes, in any animal species, the men have to fight themselves. They have to compete for the opportunity, for the chance to F one of the women to pass on their genes. So this is the number 1 way in which weakness is punished in men. If you're a weak man, you most likely will not survive into the next generation because no woman wants to sleep with you. Let me put this here. Can't pass on genes to next generation. It's the truth. That's why when you hear things like alpha male. What's an alpha male? It doesn't exist, but an alpha male is typically the man that leads the pride. He's the one that has access to the women. And how do you get to that point? In gorillas, in horses, in cows, you have to fight off other men so that you can have access to the women. It is what it is. So that's number 1. Society punishes weak men to the point that if you're a weak man, you cannot pass on your genetics next generation. Right? So number 2, how does society punish weakness in men? From a cultural standpoint, from a masculinity standpoint, when you are a man in this society and you are considered weak, you don't fit the cultural expectations, right? You don't fit the cultural expectations that society has defined as what you should be as a man. So the second thing is cultural expectations plus concepts of masculinity. There's a circle. So what does this mean exactly? Over here, you cannot pass on your genes if you're deemed weak as a man, and over here, society doesn't respect you. If you're considered weak, that means you don't possess the traits of confidence. You don't possess the traits of resilience, things that society rewards in men. Society doesn't value you. Society doesn't respect you. You understand? If you look at men today, even in movies that society puts on the pedestal, what do all these men that are seen as masculine, what do they all have in common? These guys always look fit, rich, successful, rich, social. They fit these narratives, right? So when you are considered strong by society, you typically look like this. And when you are the opposite of this, society doesn't respect you. I'll put it this way. When you don't fit these things as a man, society rejects you. There you go. Society rejects you. When you're a weak man, society sees your ability to be competitive and your ability to have drive as non-existent. When you see, when society perceives you as, this guy, he doesn't have confidence, this guy, he doesn't have ambition, this guy doesn't have drive, they see you as unambitious, low value, and low status. In our society that we live in today, we can be very honest with ourselves. As men, we are expected to be very, ambitious, driven, go-getter, etc. So a man that is weak, a man that is not striving to be the best version of himself, society is going to write you off. I'm just highlighting different ways society writes off weak men, all right? Now, when you are perceived as weak by society, you are also perceived as a burden to others. Burden to others, right? It's the truth. It's the truth. When you are a weak man, society sees you as a liability. You are a liability to society. Keep in mind, I've said this before, society judges men on our ability to produce. Society judges us on our ability to create something, to create, to protect, to manage. So when you, as a man, you cannot create, protect, manage, you are seen as a waste of space. You're seen as what? A waste. Is the truth. And that's why I say to people, man, society is harsh on men in general, but even harsher on weak men. Now, this is probably the big one that we can all relate to. Listen, man. When society sees you as weak, I'll put this here. The fifth, number five here, right? Let's put it here. Number 5, reduced romantic options. This is a big one. Women love strong men. Women are attracted to traits of strength in men. Look, let me be honest with you guys. Women hate weak men. Women are repulsed by weak men. I will put this here so that you guys have that on your video. Look, women hate weak men, right? Women punish weak men. That's where you hear things like bad boys win. Women always choose the bad boys, whatever. It's because whether we like it or not, bad boys possess the traits that communicate strength. Bad boys are very confident in themselves. They are go-getters. They are ambitious. They are driven. They put themselves first. They speak their mind. That's qualities that communicate strength. Even if you look at what women are attracted to physically in men, it's oftentimes height. Height is an indicator of strength. Wealth is a communicator of strength. What else? The dichotomy of men. What else? Like muscularity, it's a communication of strength, and a lot more. Even social status. Social status is an indicator of strength. So you see, this is the reality. So as a man, you cannot afford to be weak. I don't have space, but I'll maybe put this here so that you guys can see it in another color. As a man, you cannot afford to be weak. That's the truth. That's the truth, guys. You cannot afford to be weak. You cannot afford to be weak as a man. So guys, here are 5 ways in which society punishes weak men. Number 1, if society considers you a weak man, if you're a weak man in general, you cannot pass your genes to the next generation. If women don't find you attractive, and a strong component of what women find attractive in men is strength, financial strength, physical strength, social strength. If you as a man do not qualify to all these things, most likely you're not going to have kids. No man is attracted to you, and you cannot pass on your genetics to the next generation. Number 2, there's a cultural expectations of what masculinity is. If you don't communicate wealth, confidence, resilience, ambition, you are going to be rejected by society as a man. You're going to be called a bum. That's number 2. Number 3, here, if you don't have what society communicates or accepts as strength, you're going to be seen as unambitious. You have no drive. You're not a go-getter. Society further doesn't respect you even more. Women are not going to be attracted to you. Other men are not going to respect you. It is what it is. Number 4, when you're a man that communicates weakness or are weak, society sees you as a liability. So for example, you see there's more resources available to women that are homeless than they are to men. There's more resources available to women that undergo violence than they are to men. Because at the back of society's mind, men should not be dealing with this kind of stuff. It's the bias. That is why you have more homeless shelters. I'll put this here. You have more homeless shelters for women, than for men. It is what it is. So that's number 4. And number 5, when you are a weak man, you have reduced romantic options. Women hate weak men. Women punish weak men. That's the truth. I am turning 30 this year, and this is something that I've realized, man. If you're a weak man, women won't be attracted to you. Women love confidence, strength. They like to see a man that looks like he knows what he's doing. That's just the truth. So anyway, I hope this video gives you some perspective. Depending on how this video does, I'll go more in depth and we can take this further. Peace out.